I'm going to start this entry with a simple question. Who builds a town around a bomb? The people of Megaton do, and they're still alive. Clearly this is a terrible subversion of the laws of natural selection as I know them, and one so extreme that if they were animals I would be forced to correct it. This lends credence to my earlier theory that I'm a sociopath, but the same theory is also contested by the fact that I have not, in fact, detonated the bomb here and put these people out of their misery. Instead, saved them. I'm a bit of a jackass like that. I came into town earlier this morning, where I was greeted by some old guy begging for water. Then by a robot, not like Andy. This one is a Protectron, not a Mr. Handy. And finally by a black guy dressed like a cowboy named Sheriff Lucas Sims. I thought he was a little weird at first, but I've come to like him. I saved his life later on, but that's skipping ahead a bit. Sims told me a bit about the town, and naturally the subject of the nearby undetonated nuclear weapon came up. I offered to disarm it for him, and he had no problem with that. Frankly, if he did, I would have been very concerned. At the time though, I wanted to get my bearings first, so I walked around town. I went to Moriarty's first, both for Silver's sake, and because I've been told he would be the first person to ask about my dad. He was an old guy, spoke with an accent I've never heard before, and his bar was being tended by a walking corpse. They're called ghouls. Tredog, the DJ of one of the two radio stations I was listening to last night, explained a bit about them in one of his news segments for the benefit of ignorant world dwellers like me. They're really just people who've been disfigured by radiation, as far as I can tell, though I also told a lot of them have a tendency to go feral and try to kill you on sight. Gob, the bartender, so far has not. I tried to get some information out of the people around the bar. Moriarty told me that Silver was actually a junkie that had stolen from him and offered to tell me what I wanted if I could deal with her. I told him to go fuck himself. That means I now have to pay for the information. Fortunately, Moriarty's other prostitute Nova was able to help me. I charmed her into giving me the password to his computer and looked through his files. They told me some interesting things, as did he. According to this guy, neither me or Dad were born in the vault, and he recalls seeing the both of us many years before when Dad was actually trying to get into the vault, and I was just a baby. When he told me this himself, I called bullshit. But I didn't see any reason for him to lie about a person he's never met to his personal log. Dad, what else have you been keeping from me? He also had a few entries on the other people in town, from speculation about their own illicit activities to things he knows they've done. The local doctor worked for slavers. The rival bar owner's brother is a junkie. There's a dude called Jericho around who raped a girl, and he also had an entry on Mr. Burke. Burke was in the bar at the time, and he gestured for me to come over as I passed. He wanted me to detonate a bomb in the center of town and murder everyone, because he's an asshole. This time, instead of the standard go fuck yourself response, I played along until I found out who he was working for. Some pricks for a place called Tempany Tower, which is my next destination after I'm done here. I reported him to Sheriff Sims, who went to arrest him and nearly got shot in the back by Burke. I killed Burke before he could, and then I went on to disarm the bomb using my fancy vault education and knowledge of explosives that I shouldn't really have with my upbringing, but whatever. As a reward for my heroism, I was given a nice house to stay in, and I say nice in that it keeps me safe from radioactive rain, and it does not have a nuke stored in it. I wouldn't have been surprised if it did. These people all give me bad vibes. I think I may actually get stupider if I hang around here too long. Not that I have much of a choice. This place is looking more and more like it might be my new home. I can't tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing. At least they threw in a free Mr. Handy who dispenses purified water and tells jokes. That was nice of them. I've also taken more time to listen to the local radio stations. Because get this, Dad already left Megaton and went to Galaxy News Radio to meet Three Dog, so I've been listening carefully to anything he has to say. Three Dog's news report actually mentioned me coming out of the vault at one point. He also said something about a town called Greyditch going quiet, and Tempany Tower refusing to allow some ghouls residence. Oh yeah, I'm definitely heading there next. The other station is much clearer, and that's Enclave Radio. I'm not sure what to think about them. Their leader, this President Eden, seems like a stand-up guy. I'd vote for him. He wants to fix the blasted wasteland, and that's a goal I can empathize with. He still does sound a little suspicious at times though, in the same way that the Overseer was. But even the Overseer wasn't all bad. Just kind of a dick, and with twisted view of what is the best for the world. Their music is not as good though. The radio stations between them and all the people I've spoken to though have given me a clear list of objectives, which I will summarize as follows. 1. Go to Tempany Tower and face fuck everyone there. 2. Find where these Enclave guys are based, because they sound pretty cool and less idiotic than my current neighbors. 3. Go to see Moira at Cattersbury Supply, because Sim said she can fix up my house. 4. Take a bottle of purified water to that beggar outside of town if he's still there tomorrow, because he just looks pathetic. 5. Kill Moriarty because he's a prick. 6. Go find Dad at Galaxy News Radio if I find time. 7. Explore the town a bit. 8. Avoid the following: Raiders, Slavers, Super Mutants, Brotherhood of Steel, Brotherhood Outcasts, Feral Ghouls, Mutant Wildlife, like that fucked up thing I saw today with the multiple heads and rain. 9. Get some fucking right away. Oh, and look, it turns out I was right about my entries being really long now. This had really better not become a trend.